Hi everybody, it's Warwick here from BeeWareOnline. Happy World Bee Day today again. This is our other guest interviewee. His name's Charles. He's from Zimbabwe. So yeah, welcome Charles. Nice to have you on board. Tell us about yourself and what you're doing, what you're up to.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And hello everyone. Basically, I'm a second generation beekeeper.
Nice.
Started by my father, and then he passed it on to me. So yeah, it's been a good experience so far. I mean, growing up, it used to be just one of those things you go with him. Yeah, let me go with him, see what's happening. And then
what age were you?
Sorry.
How old were you? What age were you at?
From a very young age, very young age, because he had been running it for almost 20 to 30 years. So
man, okay. So under 10, eh?
Yeah, most likely under 10. I think I even have a small beekeeper suit that.
Okay, magic. Great, man. Yeah, my son started at about 10, so he was a bit late compared to you. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good to get the guys in young, hey? Nice.
We have.
Yeah, great, man. So you learned from him, and he was keeping bees. What did you guys do with bees? What did he do with bees?
Well, it was mainly to do with honey production. So he would keep bees in long hives all over Harare, because that's where the business is based in.
Cool.
So that you would have different hives in one property here and there, spread all over the city. And then every now and again, go out to do his maintenance, and he would then harvest come the time. Usually harvested in November after the jacarandas had bloomed, which is what we follow as well. So we do our maintenance throughout the year, and then harvest time after the nectar flow, we go in and we try and get some honey from the bees.
Okay, that must be a nice honey, the jacarandas, you said.
It's perfect. It's premium. It's
gotta be class, eh? Very nice honey. Does it have a different color as well? What's the color like?
It is more clearer. It is more clear and transparent when you put it towards the light. So
lovely. So light, very light, transparent. Yeah, okay. And
yes.
but does it taste a little bit like the jacaranda smells?
It's sweet, and yes, you get the scent, and it's very
magic, man, magic. You got to get me some of that. Gotta get me some of that this November, right? That's the deal. But so how do you know BeeWare?
Well, BeeWare, through the internet, and also reference from other beekeepers, because we do have a forum here where we used to get together, have some lunch, talk, discuss, and it being a business, I mean, cost of equipment and accessories comes into play. So we try that by looking for who's more cheaper, affordable, and can offer us good products. So through the internet, out to BeeWare, looked at their catalog on the internet, and thought, okay, let me give these guys a try. I think the first thing that I bought from you was, if I'm not mistaken, with brood frames. And yeah, I've got my agents down there that go and collect for me and then send it on my behalf. And yeah, it works well for me. It's actually perfect.
Oh, great, man. Yeah, no, it's really good, man. We like to be able to help guys, man. That's our mission, you know. I started in beekeeping. I needed help when I started out, you know, like almost 20 years ago. Can you believe it? I mean, it's as long as you I think you said you've been keeping bees for too, man. So it's lekker. And man, the more beekeepers there are, I think that's just the better, you know. And if we got quality goods going out there and we got quality services, then beekeepers can do their thing, you know. So we do our thing by making sure you guys can do your thing, you know.
It all feeds. It's got a knock-on effect. I mean, if you compromise with your equipment, if you compromise with what you put in, is the product compromise down the line. So
absolutely,
it's right to begin with.
Yeah, no, for sure. But now, what are you doing pollination? Are you doing honey production? What are you doing? What are the things you guys involved in there?
Primary line is honey. I mean, we've got a good demand for it. So that primary. And then the removals, those are starting to kick in. Like last year was a bit hectic with the call-outs. I think now that we have WhatsApp groups and everything. So if you do a good job for one person, the referral then just passes on to the other people, and you have people just getting in touch with you for assistance, which I mean, it's good. It helps us a bit of income to keep the business going. So really that, and I'm sure that's gonna increase with time. Well, I hope that it does increase, and we are able to help people with these bees when they have them on their property. Try to manage that human being interaction. Everyone. Some people, they panic at the sight of.
It's true. I don't blame them. The bees can be intense, eh? Yeah, it can be dangerous. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, because the ones that we're dealing with, they are quite cheeky. They're quite hostile as well, and they have to kill if
true.
So it's always a nice feeling when you're able to rescue them, help them, relocate them, and put them out. They can then grow and flourish.
So last year, I mean, how many do you reckon you did bee removals, give or take?
Give or take, I think we had about close to 50 call-outs.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. And then what do you do with the bees afterwards?
Well, we take them and put them into a hive down at a local farm that we have here. Monitor them. And then try and put them add them to our colony as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's not a guarantee that they're gonna stay. I mean, it's nature.
True. Yeah. After bee removal, they're unhappy. Hey, they get a bit uncomfortable, and they're like, "Yes, man, what have you done to us? You've like shaken our house all apart and everything, and now you still want us to stay." Oh, they don't like it. Hey? But I reckon it can be 50-50. You know, that's my experience, 50-50.
Exactly, and I think the same thing applies. Move them from your catch box into the brood box.
Yeah, and I mean it's a lot of people like on the bee removals, they'll say, but you get the bees for free, and I'm like, nah. You see, what happens is actually when we take them away, and when in the process of taking them away and relocating them, the bees get upset, seriously upset. Exactly. So it's like it would be the same as us trying to say to you, okay, well, pack up all your stuff. We're picking you kicking you out to the house tomorrow. Be ready. Or whatever. We're coming tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. It doesn't matter if you're ready or not, and we're moving you, and we don't know where we're taking you, and you don't know where you're going. Yes, so how do you feel now? You know, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a bit of sense." I'm like, "Yeah, we don't always get the bees. We might get honey, but we don't always get bee. We might not get honey at all either. You know, it's one of the reasons why we make sure we have to charge customers. You know,
exactly. And then also
you got costs.
And then also the running costs. I mean, the fuel that you use to place your labor.
That's it, man. And then you need the box to put them in, you know, all of that stuff. So it's but if it all goes to plan, you could do about 50 or 60 of those and say 40 of them stay.
Right.
You got a nice number of beehives that you've added to apiary, and they kind of, you know, I'm assuming, I don't know, what do you guys charge roughly? I mean, I know it'll have to range, but like, what's your range of fees, let's say, or average?
Well, ballpark, because I mean, every removal is different.
I know. That's why it's a difficult question to ask and answer. I know.
Some involve height, some are just in difficult places.
That's it, yeah.
So ballpark, we're around the $50 mark.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's now almost 1,000 Rand, eh? I can't believe the Rand, the exchange rate, how that's gone. Jeez. Mad.
Yeah.
But all right. And then so bees, why didn't you do something else? I mean, what made you, besides working with your dad and he was doing it, I mean, bees isn't like a thing people do. So why bees for you? What happened? What made you keep going with bees?
Well, obviously the legacy does play a part. I mean, if if I had my own option, I probably would have chosen something else different.
Right. Yeah, I see. That makes a lot of sense.
In this instance, the legacy is there. You've got the equipment, you've got the tools to use. So I mean, why not? It's an opportunity. So
Absolutely.
I'm grateful that I'm not allergic. In the sense that if I get stung once, then I end up in hospital. But
yeah,
it's an opportunity, and I treat it as such, and continue to look for more opportunities within the industry.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I mean, you know, with Zimbabwe and that, I mean, your agriculture, what are the kind of crops you guys are looking at there?
Well, it's quite vast. We do a lot of tobacco. We do a lot of grain. That's your maize, your sunflower. We do soya beans. We do sugar beans. So it's quite vast. And recently, well, I say recently because I mean I've been interested in it recently, but I'm sure it's been going on for a long time. Is blue. So we do have a lot of blueberry farmers as well.
Right.
Those
okay.
Are out for renting your hives for pollination. Sure. Macadamia nuts, avocados. I mean, it's quite fun. Yeah,
that is vast. That's quite nice. That sounds like a lot like South Africa. Yeah.
Well, no, we're too far. We're not too far off.
Nah. Yeah. No, and the thing is the farmers are starting to learn, finally starting to kind of get the idea that actually bees can boost their yield, quite significantly.
Exactly.
Depending on what they're growing. But I mean, macadamians, even they get 12 to 15%,
Yeah.
and possibly even up to 17, depending on what varietal of or what strain they've planted, and how it's managed and stuff like that. Exactly. Avocados are insane. Avocados are the cream, literally the cream of the crop, because they, you're looking at like up to 300% increase in yield.
Exactly. Obviously, the balance for us beekeepers is if you do put it on somebody's farm, are you going to be able to get as enough or as much honey that you used to? Obviously, you have to reach a compromise and try and find a balance.
Yeah. I mean, we charge. We don't. There's very seldomly a case where I'll find a farmer. The only other case I do personally with my bees is that I'll find a farmer that's happy for my bees to be on there, but he's surrounded by other stuff that's going to flower throughout the rest of the year, like blue gums and stuff like that. Then I've got a static site, I don't have to worry about moving them. I don't have extra costs to move them. I don't have to worry about that. And I get a regular flow of honey, and I'm not having to feed much, if at all. But other than that, the pollination is all going to be charged. It's all going to be charged stuff, Yeah. Because listen, man, the farmers, when they understand, when they know, and they recognize the benefits they're going to have. I mean, there's a talk I did with somebody about macadamians. It was actually on my 30-day series that I'm busy doing I started at the beginning of this year. So it's more than 30 days, mind you, but don't tell anyone, okay? But if you want to check that playlist out, it'll be in the description below or in my channel up here, okay? But I talk about the macadamians, man, compared to like sunflowers. Like the sunflowers per ton, it's like maybe $1,200 or $1,000 a ton or something like that. So you can get like an extra 40% up to 60% increase, right, on the yield if you got enough hives per hectare on that, right? Which is significant, okay, for the farmer, But with macadamians, for example, where you're talking $4,500 a ton, 12 to 15% is serious money, serious cash, So it more than compensates them to have bees on there, to pay the beekeeper, do a good job, and be, of a quality, well-managed beekeeper that's coming in there to supply a pollination service. Right. So man, that's one of the biggest markets I think going forward for beekeepers, especially commercial beekeepers that have got a large size apiary, and then you can subsidize that with your honey production,
Right.
So you're making some really decent money because you don't get a lot of honey on the, or you shouldn't be getting a lot of honey on the pollination.
Yeah.
But you can, but that's why you're getting paid. And then you move the bees, and then we would move the bees off to go and find food for them, where
Yes.
we're not getting compensated, but we'll get honey, and they'll rebuild up again and stuff like that. So that's kind of the mixed model, that I do. But where do you see the business going? What's next for you guys? 3 to 5 years? What's happening in Charles's land, Bee World?
I mean, look, we have been on a drive to try to increase our numbers in terms of
that's nice.
Our complements with the hives.
Yeah.
And we have been doing well, rather slow, but yeah, we've been doing well so far. And the drive is still the same. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. So the more hives you have, the more honey you can produce, the more profits you can make. So yeah, any opportunity we get to pitch up put up an AP to have more hives, to catch more bees, and we're just setting up these areas, especially on farms. And yeah, that's a drive. Pollination is in the horizon, to be honest. I think it just has a lot of logistics that's involved in it. Every time the farmer wants to fumigate or do something, they have to go move them off, put them back in. I'm sure there is a better way of doing it and leave them there. But I've heard stories that make me cringe at the idea whereby a farmer will go onto a farm and he just sees 40 colonies that have been destroyed because the farmer did not contact them.
Yeah. It's a problem. It is a problem, man. Pesticides, the spraying, all of that sort of stuff can be complicated. It complicates the whole pollination process. And even for guys who aren't doing pollination, the bees can still get affected by the neighbor spraying, something like that, within a 5-kilometer radius. So it's a bit of a risk. Yeah, but I mean, I think the nice thing is that if you got blue gums, that kind of thing, it's in the bush, they're not going to really get sprayed. So that's a nice honey, and B, it's off the beaten track, so to speak, away from the public. That's away from pesticides.
Yeah,
that's a good winner.
Traditionally, we have always tried urban, what I segregate as urban crop, whereby it's on people's property and it's seen, it's looked after. But now we're trying to get onto the farms more, where we have more space, where we can practice properly, do proper beekeeping at our own time, at our own pace, and have exposure of vast land, vast forest, dense forest, and the bees will also have enough for themselves. And just see how that will go. And then obviously honey will remain the primary for us.
The mainstay.
We put into it, we cannot just put it to the side.
Yeah, no, of course, man. But now, okay, so you got about 60 new colonies last year. What are you sitting on now? What are the rough numbers?
Well, from the top of my head, I think we are around 80 thereabouts. Okay. Because bear in mind, winter is harsh, and we do lose some colonies in winter.
So, are you feeding?
Yeah, we do feed, but not. We try to identify the ones that are weak, and to be boosted a little bit. But I think the challenge with feeding is that we have a very short winter period, of which you don't want to feed them and then they start producing honey and then they're taking your sugar and putting it in as honey.
Yeah, for sure. We've got the same problem. It's a very short window, 6 weeks, I think, window basically. Exactly. Worst case, 8 weeks. And of that, you only need to feed probably 3. So it can be quite risky because you don't want to, as you say, you don't want to introduce sugar into the honey itself. Nah. But and we've got the aloe daviana here, where we're in the Highveld where I am, Gauteng, and that is a winter feed. It flowers almost all of August, 3 weeks of August.
Okay.
And it's like steroids, man. The
Is it?
girls go, yeah, they go moggy on it. Eh?
Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
it's a it's a 4 and 4 on the nectar and pollen rating.
Right.
With it and it's indigenous, so it's there. You know, it's what they know. It's like the best kind of bee plant in northern South Africa, basically northern half of South Africa. Because the southern half, I would say, is fynbos, and they don't have Aloe Daviana down there.
Okay.
But absolutely, man. Yeah. So we've got to be very careful because obviously you can have all of that nice nectar coming in from Aloe Daviana, which is a beautiful honey as well. It doesn't granulate very quickly, quite light colored. Bees they become like ninjas, you know,
Right.
on steroids. They like, you don't want to go near your bees actually for 3 weeks if you can help it, you know, but it's
Yeah.
worth it in the end, you know. But challenges for you guys. I think you mentioned some logistics earlier on. What else is happening in terms of challenges for you guys? Where could you see some more support or help, or what's happening with you guys from government? Anything? What challenges are you guys having at the moment?
Well, look, I mean, it's to do with your running cost of production, basically. So your fuel, your wax. Though we do rent our own wax from couplings that we would have taken out in the previous season, and then we rent our own wax, trying to make our own wax foundation or trade it in with.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So that helps us a lot in terms of that takes care of the fertilizer from the
Yeah.
farming. But yeah, it's always going to be your fuel. It's always going to be your wages. And I mean, in an unstable economy, it's tough to budget. You don't know how much you need to run the operation. You don't know how much profit you'll make, because then by the time you're selling, things have moved up. So it's difficult to account.
Yeah.
Operations.
Yeah, because are you guys operating straight in the dollar now, US?
We do have the dollar, and then we also have the Zim dollar, RTGS. It's in the bank. So yeah, I mean, depending on whatever scenario is prevailing, like the shops, some tell you that they'll pay you in the RTGS, which you then have to convert it interbank to get your US dollar.
So you got that.
So yeah.
Yeah. So you got that. So you got that fee as well. You got to do that now, conversion and cost of that as well to run, and that's a bit hectic, eh? And what about?
And the question is time. I mean, you have to stick to timelines. If you are late in, then you miss out. So that is also, so it feeds into that as well. It delays things. Getting your stuff ready, preparation for the next season, and trying to get export markets as well. It's also difficult, because ideally we would like to export, but for me, I'm still trying to satisfy the local market, which is good.
Right.
So I'm not worried about export, but I mean, looking in the future, when we can satisfy the market, then we possibly have to look outside as well to see where we can send.
Start scaling it, hey? What do you guys? What's kind of a kilogram of honey, or a 500 gram bottle? How do you sell your honey there?
Well, we package it in jars. If you don't mind, can I go grab my product?
Yeah, sure, man. Please do. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, welcome back.
That's one of the products that we try to introduce into the market. Not sure if you can actually
turn it a bit, Charlie. The other way.
This way.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's just your light on the one side. You can't see it because it's okay. Nice, man. That looks great.
That's fine.
Very
so
nice.
This
good design.
Is with it's an estate. It's called Bushman Rock Safaris. They do a lot it's a safari, so they have wildlife on their property. They have
tourists coming in. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they have horses. They have they also grow grapes and they make wine in their property, which is the bees actually get happy when it's when they're harvesting lots of grapes.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, all that nice sweet stuff.
And they have a dense forest, so that's where we have a couple of hives there, and that's where we are producing this type of honey to sell for the honey.
Okay, that's quite lekker. Nice, man. So that kind of bottle, what is that? A 500 gram or 450 or what?
291.
Say again?
291 mils.
291 mils. So what is that? About 425 grams maybe?
Oh, yeah, I think the
times it by 1.3. Times it by 1.3. So yeah, it's probably about a 400 gram, 4 to 5 maybe. And how much? Yeah. So how much would that bottle go for at retail at the shops?
At retail, you're probably looking at $5.
US dollars.
Yes, US dollars.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, nice. Well done. That sounds great, man. That's really good.
Obviously, it's market dependent.
Yeah, of course. I'm just getting just kind of interested, just getting an idea.
Yeah, I mean, you walk up to somebody with the same product and tell them that it's $5, and they're like, "What?"
They're like, "What?" Yeah, no. But the thing is, for me, there's lots of fake honey on the market.
Exactly.
How are you guys handling that on your side? I mean, do you encounter that? What's happening with that in Zimbabwe?
Well, the price will tell you what's in the bottle. Yeah. So obviously,
I think that's a great way of looking at it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody is gonna pay less or willing to pay less for the same size jar, then it's fine. You can just say, okay, fine, go ahead, you can try it. I have willing to pay more for the product that I have, and so
that's it. Yeah.
But then you occasionally people then getting in touch with you and saying, you know what, I think I've heard that you do sell the real natural proper honey. And then you start from there. You start introducing yourself, and then you take things from there. And then you will have people that are like, "Nah, we can get it cheaper." I'm like, okay, fine, go ahead. You can go get it cheaper.
Yeah, but then, you got it. That's the same as what we did, man, and that's what we teach our guys on our courses. You just got to kind of. It might take a bit longer to sell. If you start getting commercial and all that, it might take a bit longer to sell the honey.
Yes.
But it's worthwhile rather just holding out and just sticking your guns and talking to people that, and educating people. And as they get, come and they'll try a jar, and then they go back to the shops and they'll be like, it's not the same. You know? It's not the same. And then they come back to you and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy your $5 jar,
Right.
Because then they start understanding.
I think the onus on us as producers just try and maintain that high quality, just keep it there, not compromise in any way, form, to the product that we produce.
No, that's it. And your label's nicely designed, so that looks cool. Yeah, no, man. Nice glass jars, which is also great, but more expensive. But it also adds value to the product, right, and the brand.
And I mean, look, the cost of the jar itself, it also comes into it. Also, it's a factor as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
They do carry a cost as well.
Yeah, man, definitely. And it's not a plastic jar. Those things are like half the price.
You see now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the way to go with this, like an idea that we once discussed, especially with these partners that are involved in this production of this.
Right.
Is at a shop, right? We put the product on the shelf.
Yeah.
Customer, okay? They go. We give them a coupon for them to then return the jar.
Okay.
So they're coming to buy the same honey at the same shop. They get it at a lower price after presenting a coupon.
I see. Gotcha.
And we take the jars, put them through a sterilizer.
Yeah.
Do the tests, make sure that it's back to its original form. And we repackage. We are also cutting on our cost, and the customer is also benefiting. So it's like a two-way.
Oh man, happy street all day long. Happy street. Yeah. No, that's a great win-win, man, and one for the environment as well, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
no, champion, eh? And okay, so if you got like say your 60 to 80 hives, what is your output? What is your honey production then over a season, roughly?
Because I harvest once.
Okay.
I let them do what they need to. I do not like disturbing them on a regular basis. So we are close to on a bad season, just about a ton, and then on a good season, a bit more over a ton.
Okay. That's on about 60 hives, 60 to 70 hives, depending.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, okay. The challenge
that's pretty good.
The challenges that you're talking about is at times you go to a hive and the bees just aren't motivated to build.
Yeah. And you also, if you're not moving them too much, they don't have they're going to have producing periods, and then they're going to have dearth periods, right? So then they eat the honey that they've made in the good period. So by the time you come to harvest, how many supers are you kind of keeping on there? Are you just doing the one then, or do you add? What do you do with supering?
Depending on how strong the hive is, I usually put 2 with new wax foundations.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, because I use a spinner, I have 2 frames that do not have honey that I would have extracted, and then I just put them on top. So what this does is they build the ones that are at the bottom, and then when they get to the top, it's just a case of loading in the honey. They're not building again.
Okay. Nice. Very clever, man. Very clever. Yeah.
So I put about 3 or 4, but if it's really, really strong and I feel lucky, I can put up to 5.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very nice. Yeah, no, good, man. So, and opportunities going forward, what are you looking forward to in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you guys, where's Charles going? And what's your company?
We call it Smiley Bees.
Smiley Bees. So what's happening with Smiley Bees in the next 3 years, Charles?
Expand more.
No secrets, don't give me any secrets, yeah. Just the general idea, okay?
You're gonna be like Coca-Cola here. You want the Coca-Cola secret?
Yeah, that's it.
The idea is to expand.
Okay.
More hives, do a little bit more. I think go back to our traditional kind of way of doing things. So like your bee wax, turn that into candles if we can for resale. Wine, the mead, the honey wine.
Absolutely. The only thing is that like I do it personally. No, I don't make money off that. I give it away as for friends, gifts and things. And myself, I've got a one. What is it? I don't think it's a gallon. It's about a 2 liter. No, it's it is a gallon. It's 3.7 liters or something downstairs.
Okay.
And there's about that much left in it at the moment. So it's been tasty. Hmm? Oh, we've lost you. Charles? We've lost your connection. Charles, you there? Come in, Charles.
Okay.
So sorry, what were you going to say there, Charles?
We were talking about.
You were looking at making candles.
Yeah, and trying to explore the mead, the honey wine.
The mead, that's it. Yeah. So this is a elderflower mead,
Okay.
which is about 2 years old now,
Okay.
and it's strong, man. It tastes a little bit like sherry.
All right. I actually
It's
remember when
nice.
I was asking how potent is it?
Yeah, I can't really say. I do have the tester, but I've just moved house, and
Okay.
I don't know where it is, so I can't actually test it now. But the
Okay.
last time I tested it, it was about 7%.
All right. All right. That's quite
So when I
decent.
tested it, yeah. So when I tested it after the first time, which was about a year, it was
Yeah.
on 7, and
Right.
it definitely tastes stronger now. Then it tasted a bit like a champagne-ish type of little bit of a light wine, like a
Okay.
rosé, you know,
Oh,
ish.
yeah.
But now it's more like a sherry. So I
Okay.
reckon maybe 12
Okay.
potentially.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite nice. Got quite a kick.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's meat's good. Great idea. Obviously, you need a license or whatever to do that, to operate that and sell it. But if you're doing it just like me, then you're cool. You can give it away to friends and that,
Well, well, well,
family
like
gift.
with the partners that are into wine production, really, I mean, we can just keep that in.
There we
And
go. You got, yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
that's
Yeah. That's exactly what you could do. Chat to them. They'll be more than happy, man, to put it, you could potentially white label it with them or get your own little label under their name, etc.
exactly.
That would be magic. And the beauty about that, because I talk about this on my on all our beekeeping courses and in our newsletters and stuff, the YouTube channel. If you diversify with bees, man, there's so much you can do,
Exactly.
besides making honey, which is what everybody kind of focuses on, and a
Yeah.
bit of pollination is probably the two things. And the third leg is the biggest one, I think, is bee removals too, because you're getting
Yeah.
bees, you're kind of being paid to kind of put the bees somewhere that you can then put them to work. And
Exactly.
it doesn't compensate you completely, but it does cover bases, covers some bases, right? So that's
Yeah.
the model. That was my model. That's how I started.
Okay.
Anyway,
I mean,
yeah,
it works. I mean, it's tried and
it
tested.
worked for me, yeah. And it's
That's,
working for you, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. And then you're also looking at the propolis as well.
Okay. What are you going to do with
Yeah.
that?
I probably collect it for medicinal
Hmm.
interest. People that I mean find it beneficial to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, try and some of the propolis. I believe even the pollen that we get for people that have hay fever or something like that, also something to explore.
So with propolis, it's a little bit tricky because handling it, you can, it's, yeah, not
Okay.
only is it sticky, it's a bee cement, but actually when you're trying to work with it, like making a product with it especially with heat and that sort of thing, it's a little bit temperamental. You can lose
Sort of.
uh value, yeah, or potency and all that sort of stuff if you're not too careful, especially if you're heating it. But there are guys making tinctures. We got some tinctures at the shop. We've tried to put it into creams and things, and that's where we found it quite a difficult thing to work with, just by making it by hand and doing it by hand, not getting it done by an actual lab on a large scale, where I think they've got much more control over the situation, and then can still test the efficiency afterwards. Whereas
Okay.
when all of our stuff we make by hand, all our creams and things, our balms and whatever. So that didn't work out for us, including and including honey. It was also quite difficult to to kind of formulate stuff with honey in it as well, because it separates eventually.
Exactly.
But yeah, the tinctures work. They work magic. And
Okay.
and you've mentioned the beeswax. So beeswax has also got a large opportunities between candles, using it, recycling it for you guys for your own use. Making your own little strips and things like that would be work
Yeah.
wonders. And then the balms and things. We've got that book. I wrote that book, the 13 DIY Skin Alchemist recipe book. So you can make wound treatments out of. It's all beeswax based. All of that is
Okay.
beeswax based and handmade, mostly handmade, if not all handmade stuff.
Right.
So we've been doing that for a long time. And but yeah, if you go into the mead, man, that's a win. I'll tell you what, because you know, the basic recipe is you need like out of a gallon, what is that? Like a 3.8 liters or something. You need about it's like 1 kilo, 1.3 kilos or something like that, 1.5 kilos of honey to water.
Right. Okay.
So you are effectively diluting you are diluting the honey to get to me, right? But the point is that means you take your ton, let's say your ton of about a ton of honey, I think. You know, if you take 100 kilos of that, 100, let's call it 150 kilos of that,
Right.
separated from the normal retail stuff you're doing,
Yeah.
and you take that 150 kilos, you're now going to add about 300 liters, give or take. You know, you'll have to just check your numbers there a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got 500 liters of limited edition meat coming out, man. You know, and that you're going to sell at probably $9, you know, thereabouts, maybe even a bit more. I don't know what your guys' wine prices are up there like, or like up there, but you might even get more than $9. I don't know. You'd have to do a bit of R&D for yourselves, but you get the gist of it. You know, you've used only 150 kilos of honey, and you are going to you're selling it for double what you blah 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 blah. So yeah, it's good numbers, really good numbers.
I mean, from that point of view, it does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, as you know, as you said, you're doing beer removals, that kind of thing is also good. But
Exactly.
it's exciting times. And give us a shout if you want to talk a bit more about your ideas on the side. I'm happy to, let's grab a coffee and we can have another chat off screen. Happy to do that, man. And but before we go, Charles, thanks again for joining us, and it's been awesome having you on the channel. We'll be there. Woo. I hope you have a good one, the rest of it for the weekend. But I'm going to put you on the spot for a couple of minutes as quickly. Give us a brief, amazing idea. It doesn't matter when it's from, but around beekeeping, something that happened, something that was just an awesome event, or some kind of story that you've experienced in your life, in your beekeeping life. No pressure.
That's the thing, because like I said, every experience is different.
Sure.
I'm having to dig deep here. I think, well, look, there is one time out at Bushman Rock, we put a catch box out to trap some bees. And me and he did the apiary setup, and I was not there. So when I got there, I'm looking at him and he's pointing the direction to where he had set it up. I'm thinking, no, I don't think we're going to get anything there. It's just too shady, just lots of trees, and I don't think it's going to work. You know?
Right.
But I already put it there. So we trotted along, going there to the site. We had 5 trap boxes that we had put in, and this particular one was in a corner. And I'm looking at the rest, and we open, there's nothing there. Open, there's nothing there. Okay, fine. You know what? I told you the space is not good. Let's take these boxes and move them elsewhere. So we load up with the first box in the car, second box in the car. Then we go to this third one in the corner. He bends over, he picks it up, and you know the story. And we were not prepared, because then we had to put on our God, it was chaos. Drop the box and we hit for the
Oh man, yeah, geez, I tell you, that's the thing, with bees, that they keep you on your toes, man. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
It's always interesting.
It's not it's not one direction obvious thing. You put a box and you catch, you might not catch. When you least expect, and then you're walking by one day and you see them flying in and out. I'm thinking, wow, but they are really amazing creatures.
Yeah. No, that's why it's keep me, I mean, you're the same as me. You've been in it for a long time, and I'm still learning.
Definitely,
there's always something to learn, man. Always something to learn, and that's the beauty about beekeeping. It's like a lifelong PhD. You know, I was talking to one of the other guys this morning, a doctor from
Yeah.
Nigeria. He's a professor, and
Okay.
he's like, I'm like, you see, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm learning my doctorate in beekeeping. You know, I'm 20 years still in, and I'm a student still. You know, but
Also,
yeah, no, it's
I also have a local beekeeper. He says that every time I open a hive, it feels like the first time.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just you get a cool feeling about it. Hey, it's like you're working with nature, even though
exactly.
they can be dangerous, you know, and they are
Yeah,
dangerous. But part of that's also a little bit of the excitement, you know. It's like also, yeah, it's yeah, but it's cool. I mean, I call them the handmaidens of nature. You know, they really are the little workhorses, the
exactly.
little hands and feet of nature herself, Mother Nature, man. And not just
Exactly.
bees, you know, not just our bees, honeybees, but all the bees. You know,
Oh,
they all do their bit.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
man. But lekker, man. It's been awesome to have you on Will Be Day today for all of our events that's going on and all of our our interviews and everything and spreading the word and being bee ambassadors. So thanks for joining us, Charles. It's really been good to have you on board and all
You're
the
welcome.
best keeping for the future, man.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
You
We'll catch up later on in the week ahead. Okay.
too.
All right, man. Take it easy. Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Eh? Ciao, man. Bye.